We sort of outgrew the place over on Commerce. We had 1.5 acres over there. We do a lot of car shows, a lot of events. We had this big picture involved in mind that we wanted to do that was more. So we sort of took that chance.
For over 6 seasons, American Restoration captivated millions of viewers. From rusted gas pumps to vintage vending machines, Rick's Restorations became a household name and a symbol of American craftsmanship. But then, without warning, everything changed. Season 7 arrived, and Rick Dale was nowhere to be found. His family, his crew, and the shop that viewers had grown to love had all vanished from television screens. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did the History Channel suddenly abandon the man who had built one of their most successful shows? Join us as we uncover the truth about the rise, the conflicts, and the shocking fall of American Restoration. The Pawn Stars Connection. Rick Dale became famous on TV after a phone call from the producers of Pawn Stars, a show that was quickly becoming very popular on the History Channel. The Harrisons, who owned the gold and silver pawn shop shown on the program, needed someone who could fix old items that came into their shop. They had heard about Rick's great skills and wanted him to be a guest expert who could repair broken treasures. Rick first appeared on Pawn Stars in an episode called Time Machines. Viewers quickly liked him for his knowledge, passion, and ability to find beauty in broken items. He wasn't just fixing things, he was saving history and giving new life to objects that were important in American culture. His rough voice, straightforward way of speaking, and clear love for his work made him easy to remember. After that first show, Rick became a regular on Pawn Stars, and the History Channel executives noticed something interesting in their viewer data. When Rick Dale was on screen, more people watched, and social media was filled with comments from fans wanting to see more of him. They were curious about how Rick worked and wanted to see complete restorations from start to finish, not just the short clips on Pawn Stars. The network executives saw this interest as a chance and offered Rick a deal that would change his life. They wanted to create a show just for him, showing his daily work at Rick's Restorations and sharing his amazing skills with millions of viewers. But Rick was hesitant, and his doubts were completely understandable given the circumstances. Rick's reluctance and early doubts. When the History Channel first approached Rick Dale about starring in his own reality show, he almost turned them down completely. Rick was a craftsman at heart, not an entertainer, and he worried that he didn't have enough personality or variety in his work to carry an entire television series. His specialty had always been gas pumps and vending machines, items that he knew inside and out and could restore beautifully. But he questioned whether viewers would really want to watch him restore the same types of items week after week. Rick told the producers that he loved his job, but wasn't sure if it would make good TV that could keep people watching for a long time. He was concerned about the stress of being on camera, how it might affect his business, and if his workers would feel okay being filmed while they worked. These worries showed that Rick was practical and understood that being famous on TV might not last and could hurt the strong business he had built over many years. The producers heard Rick's worries and took time to show him that he didn't need to be concerned. They shared their idea for the show, saying it would be about more than just fixing things. The show would highlight the relationships between Rick and his family members who helped him, like his son Tyler, his brother Ron, his wife Kelly, and his stepson Brettley. It would show the difficulties of running a small business, the joy of fixing broken items, and the stories behind the things they worked on. Eventually, Rick agreed to give it a shot, though he remained skeptical about whether the show would succeed beyond a single season. The meteoric rise to success. American Restoration started on the History Channel in October 2010, and it was a big hit. People quickly liked Rick because he was real and truly loved what he did. Unlike other reality shows that seemed fake, American Restoration felt genuine, which viewers appreciated. The show featured actual restorations, real problems, and true relationships, and viewers could feel the difference. The show was easy to understand but interesting, showing Rick and his team working on different restoration projects in each episode. Viewers saw them look at damaged items, take them apart, fix or replace broken parts, paint or chrome them, and carefully put everything back together. The changes were often amazing, turning rusty junk into beautiful pieces that looked better than when they were first made many years ago. Each restoration shared a story about American manufacturing, design, and culture from different times. In its first season, American Restoration became one of the most popular shows on the History Channel, getting between 2 and 3 million viewers for each episode. Some episodes had even more viewers like Pick, Pawn, and Polish, which had a record of 6.5 million viewers. The show was shown in over 87 countries and was known by different names, such as Kings of Restoration, in many places. Rick Dale went from being a little-known craftsman in a Las Vegas workshop to a famous TV personality with fans around the world. Celebrity clients started seeking out Rick's services, and the show featured appearances by famous musicians like Billy Joel, Sammy Hagar, and Jason Mraz, as well as NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and illusionists Lance Burton and David Copperfield. Rick's Restorations became a tourist destination in Las Vegas, with fans paying for tours of the facility where they could see ongoing projects and meet the cast members they had watched on television. For several years, everything seemed perfect, and the future looked incredibly bright for Rick Dale and his team. But behind the scenes, tensions were beginning to build that would eventually tear everything apart. The first signs of trouble. As American Restoration entered its third and fourth seasons, small changes started to show that things were not going well behind the scenes. The way the show was made began to change in ways that some longtime fans didn't like, focusing more on fake drama and conflicts between the cast. Although Rick had always been open about having trouble managing his brother Ron, the show started to show these issues more clearly, sometimes in ways that seemed overdone for entertainment. Rick began to see that making the TV show was affecting his real business. Longtime customers at Rick's Restorations had to wait much longer for their projects because the TV work came first. The crew, who used to enjoy being on TV, started to feel annoyed by the cameras always being around and having to repeat tasks many times to get the right shots. What used to be exciting and enjoyable was turning into a hassle. The filming schedule was very tough, needing long hours that often went late into the night. Rick and his family were tired from trying to keep their regular business running while also handling the demands of making a TV show. Kelly Dale, who took care of the business side of Rick's Restorations, ended up spending more time on TV-related tasks than on the restoration work she loved. The heavy workload was affecting everyone's health and emotions. At the same time, the ratings for American Restoration were still good, but had started to slowly go down from their highest points, and the History Channel executives were beginning to talk about how to change the show to attract more viewers. Creative conflicts behind closed doors. Rick Dale's relationship with the History Channel producers became more difficult as they disagreed on how to make the show. People close to the production said that arguments about ideas and storytelling methods turned into big conflicts, causing stress during filming and meetings. Rick, who cared a lot about being real, pushed back against attempts to create fake drama or set up situations that didn't show the true nature of his business and his team. The producers, feeling pressure from network bosses to keep high ratings in a tough TV market, wanted to add more conflict, drama, and arguments to keep viewers interested. They proposed storylines that Rick thought were fake and disrespectful to his team and audience. He had earned his reputation through real skill and honest relationships, and he didn't want to give up those values just for better ratings, no matter how much money was involved. The ongoing disagreements made the workplace uncomfortable for Rick, who felt he was always struggling to control how he and his business were shown on TV. He started to think the show was shifting away from its original focus on real restoration work and turning into fake reality TV drama, which was not why viewers loved the show initially. Kelly Dale agreed with her husband and backed his pushback against the producers, but things were clearly getting out of hand. By the end of the 5th season, tensions were very high and important discussions were taking place behind the scenes about what would happen to American Restoration and if Rick Dale would stay involved. The ratings decline and network pressure. Even though American Restoration was very successful at first, the number of people watching the show slowly went down over its 6 seasons. The show still had millions of viewers and made money for the History Channel, but it wasn't getting the huge numbers it had in the beginning. The people in charge were worried about this and were trying to find ways to make the show popular again. The TV world was changing quickly, with more competition for viewers from streaming services and other cable channels starting their own reality shows. The History Channel felt pressure to keep its programs interesting, and the executives thought that American Restoration needed big changes to stay competitive. They held focus groups and looked at viewer data to figure out why ratings were going down and what changes could help improve them. Some fans said they liked Rick Dale and his team, but the show was getting a bit boring because the same kinds of restorations happened every week. Others wanted to see different types of items being fixed and more variety in the ways they were restored. The network bosses listened to this feedback and started thinking of ways to fix these issues, but their ideas would end up causing problems and hurting the original cast. The executives wanted to completely change American Restoration, which would alter the show's focus and the people in it, and Rick Dale was not going to be happy with their ideas. The shocking decision. After the 6th season of American Restoration wrapped production in 2014, History Channel executives made a decision that stunned everyone involved with the show. They informed Rick Dale and his entire team that they would not be returning for the 7th season. Rick, his son Tyler, his brother Ron, his wife Kelly, his stepson Brettley, and all the other cast members who had helped build the show into a success were being let go. The rationale behind this shocking decision was that the History Channel wanted to completely reinvent the show's format to address declining ratings and provide viewers with more variety. Instead of following a single restoration shop in Las Vegas, the 7th season would feature 5 different restoration businesses located in various parts of the country. These shops would specialize in different types of restorations, from custom cars to vintage motorcycles to classic boats, providing a broader range of content and potentially appealing to a wider audience. Rick was heartbroken by this news. He had spent 6 years working hard to make the show a success and thought he had a good relationship with the network, even with some creative differences. He felt let down by the executives who had told him that American Restoration would highlight his work and keep his legacy as a skilled craftsman alive. Now, he felt like he was being thrown away like a broken item from his shop, but there would be no fixing it and no happy ending. The decision to remove Rick Dale and his cast was met with immediate backlash from fans who had connected emotionally with the original team over 6 seasons. Rick's emotional response and fan outcry. In the weeks following his termination from American Restoration, Rick Dale struggled to process what had happened and how to respond publicly to the devastating news. He eventually decided to post a video message to his fans on social media, and the raw emotion in his words revealed just how deeply hurt he was by the History Channel's decision. In the video, Rick could barely hold back tears as he thanked viewers for their support over 6 incredible seasons and for making American Restoration one of the network's most successful shows. The fan response was immediate and overwhelming, with thousands of viewers expressing their disappointment and anger at the History Channel's decision through social media posts, online petitions, and messages on the network's official platforms. Many fans stated that they had no interest in watching a version of American Restoration that didn't feature Rick Dale and his family, arguing that the show's success had always been about the people, not just the restorations. They felt betrayed by the network's decision and promised to boycott the 7th season in protest. Even with all the support for Rick and the complaints about the network's choice, the History Channel decided to go ahead with their new version of American Restoration that would have different cast members and new shops. The failed reboot and final cancellation. Season 7 of American Restoration premiered on January 1, 2016, with an entirely new format featuring 5 restoration shops: Body Stroud's Custom Car Shop, Dale Waxler's Vintage Motorcycle Museum and Restoration Facility, Andy Bowman Jr.'s Restoration Business, Steve Hale's Operation, and Bob Halliday's Shop. Each episode would showcase different projects from these various locations, giving viewers a broader perspective on the restoration industry across America. On paper, this concept seemed like it might work and could potentially attract new viewers while retaining some of the original audience. In reality, the revamped show was a disaster from the very beginning, and ratings reflected viewers' rejection of the new format. The magic that had made American Restoration successful was completely absent from these new episodes, which felt generic and lacked the authentic family dynamics and genuine relationships that had connected with audiences originally. Viewers didn't care about seeing 5 different shops doing similar work. They wanted to see Rick Dale and his team, the people they had invested in emotionally over 6 seasons. The new cast members, despite being skilled craftsmen, couldn't replicate the chemistry and authenticity that Rick's family had brought to the show. The ratings fell quickly and badly, with many fewer people watching than before. Fans took to social media to express their disappointment, saying the show had lost its charm and meaning. A lot of viewers just stopped watching and chose other shows instead of accepting this lesser version of a show they used to enjoy. The executives at the History Channel soon understood they had made a big mistake, but by that time, it was too late to fix things. After struggling through a single season with the new format and facing continued poor ratings and negative viewer feedback, History Channel quietly canceled American Restoration in 2016, just months after the revamped version had premiered. The aftermath and lessons learned. The end of American Restoration forced Rick Dale and his team to rebuild their lives and decide what to do next after being famous on TV for years. Rick's Restorations, the business shown on the program, had a hard time going back to normal without TV cameras and the many important clients the show brought in. Eventually, the shop closed to the public, but Rick still did some private restoration work for a while. Rick and Kelly Dale started new businesses, creating a company called My Best Font Forward LLC that made custom metal art, embroidery, and personalized gifts. This change let them use their creativity in new ways while keeping control of their business without interference from a network. Rick also wrote a book called Classic Soda Machines, sharing his love for vintage American items with readers who might not see his TV work. He set up a website, learnfromrickdale.com, where he offered training programs and special content for members interested in learning restoration techniques. Other cast members also moved on to new chapters in their lives with varying degrees of success. Brettley Otterman, who had often been portrayed as the bumbling comic relief on the show, proved himself to be much more capable than his television persona suggested. He purchased a failing mobile sandblasting business in Las Vegas and transformed it into Clean Works Mobile Media Blasting, which operates multiple mobile cleaning rigs and has become quite successful. Kelly Dale became a successful real estate agent in Las Vegas and occasionally hosts car shows. Ron Dale, Rick's brother, pursued his passion for building custom bicycles and found happiness in the quieter life away from television cameras. American Restoration shows us what can go wrong when TV networks change things that are already working well. The History Channel's choice to replace Rick Dale and his team with a new idea showed they didn't understand why the show was popular. People didn't watch just to see restorations. They watched to see Rick and his family deal with the ups and downs of running a business while saving parts of American history. Which aspect of the American Restoration story resonates most with you? Do you think Rick Dale and his team deserved better treatment from the History Channel? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.